We all, I've never heard about this until probably recently, but there was a line of clothing that that was created for the Partridge Family, and the name of the line was Kate Greenaway. And there's a bunch of clothing, and I don't know if did anyone here actually purchase any clothes at that time. If you did, you know, just maybe put it in the comment section that you owned a shirt or a dress. I know that the paper dolls that were created for Susan Day, they made some clothing based on that clothing line as well of Kate Greenaway. But I don't know if anyone actually owned a piece of the clothing, you know, but some people remember
Susan
it.
Marie Mead typed that she did.
Oh, Susan actually did. Wow. That's pretty cool.
Yes, I did. I don't have it anymore.
What kind of clothes?
It was a shirt that we bought in Macy's.
Oh, really?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
All right. So, Susan, you're going to get an extra raffle ticket for that.
Oh, okay.
Because, yeah, that must have been so exciting to find a piece of clothes. And what was it? Did it have David's face on it? Because there's certain clothes had David's face, they said. They had the bird on it.
No, I don't remember it ever having his face on it. No, I think it was like flowered, but it had the label inside.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Label. Yeah. So there's the label, the Partridge Family Kate Greenaway label. Yeah. And that's an advertisement that was from the New York Times that you see on the screen. And Kate Greenaway wasn't someone that was actually a designer here, like in the 70s. She actually lived in 1846. She was born March 17, 1846, and she died November 6th of 1901. And she died of breast cancer. She was only 55 when she passed away, and she was born in London. And her mother was a dressmaker, and her father was an engraver. And she started illustrating. She was an illustrator for more than 20 books. And she used to illustrate all these different whimsical types of children in these clothes with bonnets and things like that. And Liberty of London adapted Kate Greenaway's drawings as designs for a line of children's clothes. And this was back in the 1880s and the 1890s. So a lot of the mothers would buy these clothes like pantaloons and bonnets throughout the 1880s and the 1890s. It was very popular. And so I'm not really sure how it became the Kate Greenaway clothing line in the 1970s. I'm still trying to figure that out. I keep Googling stuff, and I'm having a hard time finding out how that coincided with that. But that was a little bit about her background. She was never married, and she never had children. But I think she did like the nursery rhymes, like Mother Goose nursery rhymes, and you'll probably see her famous paintings. And so what happened was I was actually on the Facebook marketplace, you know, searching for something of David Cassidy or the Partridge Family, and I came across a shirt that someone was selling. So I wound up purchasing it, and I paid $50 for it. And this is the shirt here. Okay, so this is the shirt. It's a blue, a nice navy blue with white polka dots. And it has on the collar here, it has a little partridge. It's looks like a patch. You can't, there's nothing there, but there's a little patch on here. And then you could see the, oops, here we go. It's a little girl's shirt. And this is the thing. There's a little stain on here. And the person that I bought it from, she owned this for about 30 years. And it was not her original item. She never wore this as a kid. But she actually was doing something for Boy Scouts. And she was running, they gave her, she said there was leftovers that she had to sell from a Cub Scout yard sale in Ruston, Louisiana. And so she found this in the middle of a pile of clothes or whatever, and she saw it and she was like, oh my God. So she saved it. It was buried in the middle, and she was so happy to find it. She was a big Partridge Family fan. And she never knew that there was the existence of like Partridge Family clothing line. So when she found it, she was like, oh my goodness. So she had no idea at the time that there was even a clothing line. So she always felt like she was eventually going to sell it at some point. So I had asked her that. I'm like, what made you finally decide to sell it? And when she sold it to me, she told me that her husband said, you're an animal. She goes, my husband just called me an animal for selling this. Because I guess he was not too happy that she sold it to me. But I was so happy to take it from her. So it meant a lot to her. And she figured, like, you know, it would probably increase in value after David had passed away. So she kept it for a long time. And she said it's really hard for her to let this go. Excuse me. And she said through the years, it brought her a lot of joy. I have to just drink some something right now. Excuse me. So she said it brought her a lot of joy holding on to this. Like a little piece of clothing you wouldn't think would bring someone joy, but obviously just, I guess, the visual of this. So she, you know, held it and she kept it in really good condition. And she said that his death really affected her a lot, you know, when David passed away, when she found out. So yeah, so this is the cute little shirt. And this is probably, I was pretty excited to get it because when I, you know, watched the Partridge Family, I was about maybe 5 years old at the time, 4 or 5 years old. So, and then as I got older, so this would have been something I would have worn, but I had no idea. My sister was the big Partridge Family fan at the time. She was the one that wanted to marry David. And so this is pretty cool. I was going to put it on an American Girl doll, but it's too big for the doll. So, but it is adorable. And I wish my kids were still little because I would have dressed them up with this.
Karen, how much did you pay for that again?
I paid $50.
Okay, because let me just tell you this. That partridge alone on the collar, I would have gone up to 150 for something like that. I mean, that is adorable. And it's the only part of the shirt that really is Partridge Family-ish. It's just a regular shirt. Yeah. But that partridge alone on the collar is worth it. Good for you. Beautiful.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I don't know what to do with it. I guess I gotta keep it in good standing. I don't know what to do with it. Like, I guess to keep it safe. I'm afraid to wash it, but I really would like to wash it to get the stain out. Don't wash it.
Don't mess with it. That bird falls off, I'd cry.
That's true. I would have to hand wash it then. Yeah, but so cute.
Thank you, Karen. I appreciate it very much. Does anybody have any questions for Karen before she washes that shirt? Look at Margie's face. No, don't do it.
Karen, I think you should get it framed.
Yeah.
What? What did you say?
You should get it framed. There's a woman who does really great framing, and you could put some other things around it. It would be so pretty.
Well, thank you so much, Karen. That was awesome. We really appreciate it.